Okay, today's lesson we are going to discuss selections, and in a selection typically you will see a condition on the top. This condition usually put as gives us two answers, either true or false, or yes and no. If it is true or yes, then it will take true alternative. If it is false, it will take another path which we call false alternative here. So one of these two will run, not all the both these two steps. So that's called selection. Now this is very common in day-to-day life, especially when we say, let's say, you check whether it's a rainy day. You check the weather and see whether it's a rainy day. So the outcome is either yes or no, right? If it's yes, we can take an umbrella. If not, we don't have to take an umbrella. So similarly, selection could be used to make decisions. So that's exactly what we are going to discuss. I think we have taken down the notes, right? Can one of you confirm?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think we need to do an example, right? Okay. So let's move on to then. We are going to move on to yes, selection, right? Okay. Let's move to the flow chart thing. Right. Let's take down this example. I think we have not discussed the answer for this one. Okay, so let's draw a flow chart to get marks for a subject. And output pass, if marks are greater than or equal to 50, or output fail otherwise. The first thing is we have to draw a flow chart to find out the marks. You first of all get marks from a user, and if it is greater than 50 or equal to 50, we can say pass, otherwise we can make fail. Right, let's start. So can one of you tell me what is the first step?
Start.
Yes, we have to say start. So that's the first step. Yes. Sorry. Next step.
Input the marks.
Exactly. Yes. Now we have to get an okay, so this is not the okay, so fourth one. Sorry, we should have here, right? So we have to have a start. Okay, so that is a start. Then we have to get what marks, right? We have to get marks. So we will say, okay, input. We can say marks. Right. Now what? Anyone?
Condition.
Yes, we want to put condition. Devini, what do you think? What should be the condition? Dulaj? Dulina?
Whether the marks are greater than or equal to 50.
Exactly. So we have to check whether the marks are greater than or equal to 50. So we have to put so we have to check. We have to have a block like this. This is to make a decision, right? The condition or the question that we have to ask is marks. Something has gone wrong. Okay. Marks. Marks. You can check. So in the flow chart, we want to get marks of a subject and then we need to output pass if marks are greater than or equal to 50. Otherwise fail. So we start, we get the marks. So make sure that you use the correct graphical symbol. Then in the condition, we have to check whether marks is greater than or equal to 50, which means takes two parts, either yes or no. If it is yes, we know that we need to print pass and that's the end. And if it is no, then you print fail and that's the end. So now take a couple of test cases, which means let's say marks is 80. If the marks is 80, you are checking whether 80 is greater than or equal to 50. Yes, so it will say pass. That's all. And let's take another case. Let's say marks is 50. We are checking whether 50 is greater than, no, equal, yes. Then it goes yes, it will print pass. Let's say marks is 25. You check whether 25 is greater than or equal to 50. No, take this path. It will print fail. And that's the end of the program. Now, one thing you need to remember compared to sequence. In sequence, we are going to execute all the steps. But here in the selection, it is not going to, execute all the steps, right? It depends on the condition. It depends on the outcome of this condition. Right, good. Now I will give you an example you to try, right? So the next example, let's take down this. I want you to first of all try and send me a WhatsApp message with your answer, but you can make mistakes, no problem. Okay, let's start. So in this question, we are supposed to get a number from the user and display whether the given number is even or odd. The first step is we have to get the number. The second one is, before we move on to the selection part, we have to first identify the remainder. Now the remainder is there are some operators like addition, multiplication. We have a mod operation, we say. But I will write now, for the time being, right now, this as words. Remainder is equal, you divide the number by 2 and get the remainder, which means a process. So this is a process, which means we have to use rectangle shaped block. Yes, to say that. Another way to write down a shorter way, and we will learn later on, is use mod operation. That, for example, we can say, okay, remainder is, you can say number mod 2. Number mod, here mod means, okay, again I'm getting the same error now. We will write like this. We can say, okay, remainder equals number mod is operator 2. So this is how, in short, we can write down the same thing. So dividing the number by 2 and get the remainder, we can replace with mod operator. So we will put number mod 2 means you divide the number by 2 and you take the remainder. Right. Now that we know the remainder could be either 0 or 1, isn't it? Yes. When you divide any number by 1, we are getting 0 and 1. If you divide any number by 3, you will get 0, 1, 2, right? Similarly, you are getting like this. So I don't have enough space here, so I will take it down like this. Right? And then I will ask a question, is remainder equal 0? So if the remainder is 0, we know we have two answers. First one is yes, the other one is no. If it is yes, we can say, okay, then print even. If it is no, then print odd, which is again output. Again, output. We can put it like this. Right? Now we can get these two together. And that's the end of the flowchart. Okay, good. Yes, those who had issues, you can now take down the answer. Right, now let's look at what we have done from here. Now we get a number and we want to display whether it's a number is even or odd. The trick is we get the number, we divide the number by 2, we get the remainder, and we are checking whether the remainder is 0. If it is yes, we say even. If it is no, we will say odd. Now take some examples. Let's say number is 10. Yes, you divide the number 10 by 2, remainder is 0. If it is 0, then the number is even. Take number 8, number 7. Right? So you divide 7 by 2, remainder is 1. You are checking whether the remainder is 0. No, then it will print odd, right? So that's how it goes. Right, next one, try. In this example, you can see there are 3 conditions, right? So in this example, you are getting a temperature of water. If it is a temperature is less than 0 degrees Celsius, we know the state of water is ice. If it is between 0 to 100, then it's water. If it is more than 100, it's gas or stream, right? So which means you know that for a given time, we can check for only 2 conditions. So that means in this one, you need to use 2, selection blocks. Did you get my point? You need 2 selections. Okay, give it a try first, and then we'll discuss the answer. So in this case, we have 3 options, isn't it? And it's about the temperature. So anyway, the first step should be you have to get the temperature, or you can say get temperature, or simply we can say input temperature, right? Input temperature, right? So that's the first step. You can simplify. Some of you actually had 2 steps, so you can actually simplify, right? Then I will change the color. Once I do that, I can have a decision block. I can ask whether the temperature less than 0. I can ask whether it's larger than 0. It's up to you. So since I have going through the start, I would like to get from here. So first one I can ask, okay, is temperature less than 0? If the question is yes, less than 0. If it is yes, we know the temperature is 0, then we know that it should be ice. So we can simply say print ice. Yeah. And then if it is no, then we have two more possibilities. If it is no, 2 more possibilities. Why no 2 more possibilities? Then we know that temperature is 0 or more, right? Then my next question is slightly different from all your answers. Since this is the first time, you can carefully look at it, right? So I can ask whether the temperature I can ask whether it's less than or equal 100. I can ask like this, or even I can ask greater than 100 here. So from here we know that temperature is not less than 0. That means it's 0 or more. Then now here we will check temperature less than or equal to 100, which means it's between 0 to 100, isn't it? So that means here we can say print water if you go in this direction. So this will be print water. And if it is less than no, that this is yes. If it is no, then we know that it's not less than or equal to 100, which means more than 100. So if it is no, we know that this is print, let's say steam. So then now we have to connect this to N. So this is a 1 decision block, the selection, and this should be connected with this one. And finally, this should connect to the N.
little bit go towards the technologies that arising from industrialization.
Yes, I'll go from the beginning now. Let's look at some examples for this. First of all, temperature, let's say
It is very interesting idea actually. We will try our best to
-5. Let's say the temperature, I will get an example, -5. Now, if it is -5, you ask the question whether less than 0. Then it'll take this side, right? And it will say print ice. So this will take ice. And then that's the end. So when you say -5, it will come in this direction, takes this path, right? And that's the end, right? Take this path, and that's the end. And then the next one, let's say the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. You check whether it's less than 0. Then no, you go in this direction, right? And then you check whether the temperature is less than or equal to 100 years. Then you take this direction. So it will say water. Correct answer, isn't it? Let me take another one. So we can say, for example, 105. You can check whether it's less than 0. No, you take this path. Then you check whether the temperature is less than or equal to 100. No, you take this path. So it will print stream. Stream. Right. So which means it's go to the end. Okay. Right. Okay, you can take down this.